Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Fed League Flash game review session covering the games from Saturday night. It is Sunday today. Six games on the docket last night. We started off just highlighting the contest between HC Venom and the Danbury Hat-Tricks. This was a home and home, kind of unconventional, and both games in Danbury, of course. But this was Danbury's home game, and with both of these games, the last two nights, the home team wins. Danbury pulls off the 5-3 victory. The goalies were John Moriarty. Could not duplicate the amazing success that he had Friday night, but he still, he didn't play badly. But Friday night's performance by him was just phenomenal. Connor McCollum starts back-to-back games. He gets the win, stopping 35 of 38 shots. Moriarty, 32 saves. The game-winning goal was Alexander Gamzatov, 15:31 of the second. The Hat-Tricks rattled off three unanswered goals at one point. For the game, Norika for the Venom again. Another three assists. Guy's phenomenal. Just so had a couple of goals, but tons of people scored for the Hat-Tricks. Woolley had a goal, two assists. Gonzadov, goal and assist. Van Durken, a goal and assist. Alexander Valsev, he had two assists. William Berry, goal and assist. You get the idea. 6 points all told by the what we're calling the vodka line. That was not my creation, but I thought it sounded kind of catchy. So there you go. Danbury improves to 8-6-4, and Hudson Valley now 5-8-1. Still no word on the game on the 21st, where they're supposed to be hosting the Dashers. Still working on that. All right, so here we go with that game. The Battle of Michigan. Again, Port Huron can't generate a whole lot of offense, but in this case, they got just enough. They broke up the scoreless streak that Ricardo Gonzalez had put up last couple of games for the Rockers, and Prowlers end up with a 2-1 win in the shootout. So it was not until the third period where the Prowlers scored, and that was Matt Graham breaking a bit of a scoreless drought himself. He had gone 4 games without a point. So he gets back on the board, and it is Jameson Mom. He scored the first goal of the game, put the Rockers up, but Port Huron finally chipped their way back. Port Huron again pouring on the shots, not getting a lot of results, but it was just enough. In the shootout, it was Reginald Millette. He scored. And then nothing. And Alex Johnson ends up putting the game away in the third round, 2-0 in the shootout, which makes for us 2-1 victory. So Port Huron now 8-10-2. Motor City falls to 7-10-1. So at least both teams coming out with a point in this. And then we get to what was the final game of the night, Binghamton and the Dashers. And Dashers, again, another game where they get very close, tie the game up at 15:21 of the third period from Salov. But in the overtime session, shots were crazy, as you can tell. 58 shots here. Yeah, Parker Rutherford again standing on his head and turning away 10 of 11 shots in the overtime session. Uh, Insane. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden Binghamton just they didn't put their foot in the gas. They broke the gas pedal all the way through the floor. 11 shots in that overtime session, and it is Austin Thompson scoring at 426 of the overtime session. So there we go. So Binghamton improves to 16, 3-1. And Dashers, well, you get a point out of it. I know you're wishing for more. 1-14-3. But again, there has been an improvement of play as of late. So just waiting for that winless streak to break. It's got to sooner or later. All right, let's go on to the next board here. And voila. All right, so as alluded to by the thumbnail on the video, yep, it's another shutout for Mario Cavaliere. Now, not to take anything away from him, because again, another shutout. The Fed website has made an error. He does not have 4 shutouts. He has 3. But yeah, he's got 3 shutouts, and he leads the league. So I don't know why he got credited with an extra shutout when that shutout actually went to Boris Babic. But there you go. There's a point. Carolina has shut out their opponents 4 times this year. In how many games have they played? 16 games. So 25% of the time they're shutting out the opposition. That's incredible. And the Wolves are not an easy team to shut out. Obviously, they came into the game leading the league in offense per game. That's going to take a little bit of a hit, but Carolina, they just keep on rolling. 9 wins in a row now. So in the first, 16:02 of the first, it's Lane King had himself a very, very nice weekend with a couple of big goals and a game-winning goal. Yeah, that's pretty big. So nobody knew, of course, that was going to be the game-winning goal. But yeah, he gets the puck past Anton Borodkin, and it's 1-0 at the end of 1. Shots pretty even, 10-9 for Carolina in the first. In the second, Carolina just pours it on. It's Gus Ford scoring on the power play at 1:27 to double the lead. And then not even a minute later, it's the first Fed goal, first pro goal for Andrei Simonchik. Simonchik, I think it is, if I heard correctly. So my apologies. So he gets his first Fed goal, and so that's huge. Shots were a little bit more uneven in that second period. 14 for Carolina, 6 for the Wolves. The Thunderbirds weren't done either. They score at 9:32. Roman Kramer off of a nice play by Gus Ford. So the only black cloud in the silver lining for Carolina is late in the second period. There's a major collision going into the goal, and Yuri Pastuka looks like he broke his wrist. He came up gripping his wrist and going off immediately. I felt his pain. I've broken this twice, and I am hoping that we get some relatively good news. Pastuka immediately went off. He did not return. So we're hoping for the best for Yuri, whatever that news is. But I would assume he's going to be out for a little while. So that's the only dark side to this game. In the third period, no scoring, but Carolina outshot Watertown 16-9, 40-24 for the game. And Watertown, yeah, they're suddenly looking for some answers. They've been struggling as of late. So they've lost 4 of the last 5 now. They're now 11-5-1. And Carolina, again, the heat is on. They're 12-1-3. You'll see a graphic later, or early tomorrow on Facebook, what a difference things would make if we do end up going to points percentage as the primary tiebreaker. Very interesting the way the standings would look. But anyway, so Carolina moves on. Good crowd, just shy of a shutout in the Fairgrounds Arena. Down south, just a little farther south, down in Columbus, it's the Moccasins coming off of a beautiful win, but Columbus was having none of that for a second time. They came out and they looked like the Columbus team that I expected them to be this year. Sammy Bernard in goal for the River Dragons, and it was Ekholm Rosen in once again for the Moccasins. So, pardon me a second. Sorry about that. I'm fighting off a little bit of that thing that's going around that a lot of the players have, different teams. So, whatever's going around, hopefully it won't last. Anyway, with this game, Moccasins get the first strike. It's Ben Stefani, Bayou Ben. He puts the Mocs up 1-0 at 5:37 of the first, but that was countered by Ryan Hunter, power play goal at 10:38, and things are all evened up. And then Columbus puts the pressure on. It's Connor Lind on a separate power play opportunity, 15:20. He scores, and Lind doesn't get on the board much, but every now and then, he puts one home. So it's 2-1 at that point, but Moccasins tie it up before the end of the first, 17:07. It's Nathan Butler scoring his first pro goal. So he just signed this last week with the Moccasins and gets himself on the scoreboard. So 2-2 at the end of one. Shots, though, Columbus 17 to the Moccasins 7. So, again, the Moccasins have been very opportunistic. They don't get a lot of shots on goal typically, but, they go in the locker room tied up at 2. So, not too bad. Moccasins end up scoring the next goal. It's Helmer Oscarson scoring in the power play. Oscarson has been having a great season so far. And he puts the Moccasins up 3-2. But that would be the last time that Sammy Bernard looked behind him to find the puck. The rest of the time, he's a stonewall, and Columbus just turns it up and starts finding that offense that they've been missing, starting with Ryan Hunter with his second of the night at 13:38. That evened things up. So at the end of 2, it's 3-3. Shots through 2 periods of 29 for Columbus and just 16 for the Moccasins. So you can tell that there was a lot more chances being generated by the River Dragons than what they have been getting through the first part of the season. Third period, all River Dragons, it's Hunter Bassani scoring just 40 seconds in. Justin Samaro scores at 5:56. And Alex Storjahan adds a little bit of an exclamation point at 12:43. Even though the Moccasins did get more shots in the third period, 13 to the River Dragons 10. All the twine was being tickled by the River Dragons, and they end up with a 6-3 win, avenging the previous night's loss. So Monroe 9-8-4 on the year, and Columbus 11-3-3. Crowd 3,700 plus on hand for that one. And then this game, boy, I tell you, I am continuing to be impressed by the job defensively that the Zydeco have done. Beginning of the year, I said I'm really worried about this defensive core. They're so young, they have so little experience, and they have proven me wrong, game after game after game after game. I'm not ashamed to admit I was wrong. Uh, Zydeco continue to clamp down and play an excellent defensive game, and they get enough offense to grab the wins. So yeah, they hold off the Blue Ridge Bobcats once again, 2-1. Uh, and both teams had good chances, 37 shots each, but yeah, for the Bobcats, mainly most of their chances were just one and done. There weren't a lot of rebound chances or second chances. It was basically one shot, clear the zone. They really didn't get many opportunities, and the one goal they did get was the one defensive breakdown I really saw from the Bobcats all night. So anyway, first period, it's Zydeco scoring at 8:26. It's Scott Schrock getting on the board, and that was it. Um, the Bobcats got a lot of shots on, but again, it was just one and done. 17-6 in the shot department for the first. In the second period, the Zydeco ramped it up and got 20 shots on goal. And then in that flurry, Kevin Zabad scores a power play goal for the Zydeco at 4:45, and it's 2-0 Zydeco. That's going to end up being the game winner, of course. 10 shots on goal still for the Bobcats, so they weren't left in the dark. In the third period, that one breakdown that I told you about, Danny Martin gets past a pinching couple defensive men, skates in alone on Colgan and puts it just over his shoulder for the score at 7:48 of the third. But that was it. After that, the Zydeco really tightened the screws in the defensive zone, and again, just allowing a lot of perimeter shots or just a one and done, clear the zone. Very methodical. It was a very I don't want to use the word boring because that's not accurate. But it was a very clinical style of play by the Zydeco. Everett Thompson has really done a great job with building a system and getting the guys to buy in it, and that's why the Zydeco are in first place. So yeah, that's final score. It is the Bobcats falling to 8-6-2, looking to salvage a game out of the 3-game set this afternoon when the two teams play again. Connor Green, he hadn't gotten a start in a while. He played very well, 35 of 37 saves. And it wasn't like there were a lot of defensive breakdowns. It was just, two pucks that got by, and it was enough. Brendan Colgan on the other side stops 36 of 37. He's had himself a pretty nice weekend so far. And Zabad with the game-winning goal. So, Baton Rouge now 14-5-2, holding on to that first place spot in the Continental Division, 26-03 on hand. So there we go. Now this next week, going to be a little bit different because there is a game this afternoon, early evening. I'm not going to have a Stars and Standings video tomorrow like I usually do. I'm just going to take a couple of pictures for you on Facebook and post them, showing the difference that in the standings, that if we went to point percentage, how different it would be, especially in the Continental. Not much of a difference in the Empire, but the Continental would look a whole lot different. Very interesting. Tomorrow we will be on the Flash Audio Network with the game review for game number 3 between the Zydeco and the Bobcats, and we'll also give you the 5 stars of the week. And then we go into a relatively normal rest of the week. All right, so thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Gary Ryan for the Fed League Flash. I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you're hitting like, subscribe, tell a friend, all that good stuff. And we will talk to you tomorrow on the Flash Audio Network. Have a great week ahead, guys.